The next one is one of those. No discussion of Norway's scenic routes would be complete without mentioning...
Olá, pessoal! Sejam bem-vindos ao meu canal. Meu nome é Natália, mas você pode me chamar de Nath. Eu adoro reagir e aprender sobre outros países, especialmente aqueles bem diferentes do meu em termos culturais e econômicos. Então, se você gosta desse tipo de conteúdo, fica à vontade para se inscrever. Vou adorar ter você por aqui. Bom, nesse vídeo eu vou reagir às mais bonitas viagens de carro pela Noruega explicado. Então é isso, sem mais delongas, e vamos para a reação.
If you're planning a road trip in Norway, it's easy to become overwhelmed. There are fjords everywhere, mountain roads everywhere, waterfalls, glaciers, islands and coastal highways in every direction. So where do you start? Well, Norway actually has an answer to that question. Across the country, there are 18 designated national scenic routes. But these aren't just ordinary roads with a nice view. Many feature purpose-built viewpoints, rest areas, picnic spots, and even award-winning architecture designed to help visitors better experience the landscape. Some routes follow dramatic coastlines, others cross mountain plateaus or wind through fjord country. The important thing to remember is that these routes encourage slow travel. Rather than rushing between destinations, the journey itself becomes part of the experience. I've driven several of them over the years, and today I want to show you just a few of my favourites and explain why these routes are a great starting point when planning your road trip around Norway. Note I say starting point. These are great stretches of roads, but they are roads to incorporate into longer road trips. You can easily cover 2, 3 or more in one visit. Let's start with probably Norway's most famous single stretch of road, the Atlantic Road. It's often featured in lists of the world's most scenic drives, and it's easy to see why. A series of bridges leap from island to island across an exposed stretch of coastline, creating one of the most dramatic pieces of road engineering anywhere in Norway. One thing that surprises many visitors, though, is just how short the Atlantic Road actually is. You can drive the most iconic stretch in just a few minutes. But that's really missing the point. This isn't a road you rush across. You stop, you get out of your car, you walk around, you can photograph the bridges from different angles, or just enjoy the coastal views. And if the weather turns rough, the Atlantic Road can put on quite a show.
Caramba, olha isso! Tipo, literalmente parece uma ilusão de ótica. Tipo, parece que você vai se jogar assim num penhasco. Meu Deus, qual deve ser a sensação de dirigir isso?
It's also an easy trip to combine with a longer route around the fjord region, making this an easy scenic route to add to your itinerary in and around the Norwegian fjords. Now, while the Atlantic Road is open year-round, not all the scenic routes are. Many have winter closures, and in some cases that's for 6 months or more. The next one is one of those. No discussion of Norway's scenic routes would be complete without mentioning...
Esse eu tenho muito medo. Porque olha isso, tipo, você precisa ser muito bom. Se você é norueguês e dirige nessa estrada, já dirigiu, saiba que eu admiro muito você, porque eu acho assustador. E tipo, não tem proteção no encostamento.
The Trollstigen to Geiranger route. This is arguably Norway's most famous mountain drive. Trollstigen, or the Troll's Path or the Troll's Ladder, climbs a steep mountainside through this series of dramatic hairpin bends, with a waterfall tumbling down the cliff alongside the road. At the top, a network of viewing platforms offers these incredible views back down the valley towards Åndalsnes and across the surrounding peaks. You will want to spend at least an hour here exploring the walkways and viewpoints, so factor that into your itinerary. From Trollstigen, the route then continues through some of Western Norway's most spectacular mountain and fjord scenery, eventually linking with Geiranger, home to one of the country's most famous fjords. By the way, at the Trollstigen end of this route, don't miss the town of Åndalsnes. Known as Norway's mountaineering capital, it's the perfect base for this drive. You can take the cable car up one of the mountains that towers over the town for these sensational views, and visit nearby Trollstigen, or the Troll's Wall, which gives you an appreciation of the scale here in Norwegian nature.
Gente, por que vocês têm tantas estradas assim com mirantes e tudo mais? Tipo, isso é uma coisa que o povo norueguês aprecia? Vocês realmente pegam o carro e vão visitar esses mirantes e tudo mais? Me deixa saber aqui nos comentários. Ou isso é mais uma coisa de turista? Porque assim, se eu vivo num lugar desses e tenho isso para aproveitar, eu vou querer fazer isso sempre, sabe? Tipo, é muito bonito, é uma coisa que traz paz.
Serious hikers will also enjoy this part of the country. Now, I mentioned Trollstigen closes in the winter, but even in the summer, this road can be closed at relatively short notice because of rockfalls or avalanche risk. In fact, closures have been more common in recent years as authorities work to improve safety on this challenging stretch of road, so it's well worth checking in advance. At the other end of the country, there's a national scenic route that feels completely different. In Lofoten, the main E10 road connects a handful of small towns with fishing villages and white sand beaches as it swerves around the base of jagged mountains that seem to rise straight out of the sea. What I love about driving here is the scenery never seems to stop. Every bend reveals another mountain or another beach or another fishing village.
Gente, por que vocês têm
Sometimes you
essas
can drive for
casinhas
just a
vermelhas?
couple of minutes before feeling that
Porque
urge
são
to stop
vermelhas.
and take a photo again. This is one of those places where getting from A to B genuinely takes longer than expected because you'll constantly want to stop.
Meu Deus, é
Just be
perfeito.
aware that Lofoten's summer popularity these days, this road can get incredibly congested. Take your time. When it's busy, it's well worth exploring the side roads to see what beauty you can discover for yourself. Another important point here, Lofoten is well north of the Arctic Circle in northern Norway. It's not a route you can easily combine with any of the other ones on this list. Now, one of my favourite combinations of scenic routes is from Hardangervidda up in the mountains down to Hardanger in the fjords. Hardangervidda is Europe's largest mountain plateau. The landscape up here feels huge, open, and almost empty, especially compared to the steep fjords that many people associate
Gente,
with Norway.
literalmente parece
Then, as you
outro
descend
planeta.
towards Hardanger, everything changes. The boundary is marked by this spectacular waterfall, Valdresflye, plunging from mountain into valley. You'll want to spend time here exploring the various vantage points and crossing the controversial steel bridge. There's parking lots on both sides of the water.
Olha isso, tipo, da onde saiu a ideia? Vamos construir uma escadaria assim no meio da floresta. Tipo, como surgiu essa ideia? Qual é a intenção? Tem, tipo, algum planejamento do governo de vocês para isso? É muito, muito doido. No Brasil nós não temos nada assim. Temos estradas bonitas, mas não com essas intervenções tão modernas, né?
Waterfall, and the bridge connects them. On the drive down to the fjord, the Norwegian Nature Centre serves as a museum and visitor
É muita
centre for the
modernidade, meu
Hardangervidda
Deus.
National Park. Before you know it, you're down in
Olha.
Eidfjord and driving through the Hardangerfjord region, known for its fruit orchards and this spectacular road bridge. If you want to understand just how varied the Norwegian landscape can be, this combination of scenic routes is ideal. Another route I always enjoy is Valdresflye. Crossing high mountain terrain between eastern and central Norway, this route offers some of the biggest views you'll find anywhere in the country. What makes it special isn't one famous landmark, it's the feeling of space. Wide mountain vistas of Jotunheimen stretch around you, and on a clear day, the scenery feels endless. It's also a route that many international visitors overlook, which means you can often enjoy these views without the crowds found in some of Norway's more famous destinations.
Olha
Of
isso,
course,
olha o
these
que
are
tem
just
no
a
meio da
handful of
estrada, no
Norway's
meio do
18
nada.
national scenic routes. I haven't included them all here because even though I've driven more of them, I don't have footage from them all. Whether you prefer fjords, mountains, islands, or Arctic landscapes, there's probably a route that suits your style of travel. Just remember to check for opening seasons before committing to your route. If you've driven any of Norway's scenic routes, let me know your favourite down in the comments. But if you are planning a road trip or any visit to Norway, there's a lot to know before you go. Watch this video next to learn the biggest mistakes tourists make when visiting Norway. I've seen and heard about all these mistakes, so hopefully you can avoid them.
Meu Deus, gente, eu fico impactada. Como a Noruega é um país abençoado. Vocês literalmente são muito privilegiados, né? Tipo, vocês têm uma beleza natural exuberante. Mas o que tá martelando na minha cabeça agora é porque vocês têm tantos mirantes e se preocupam tanto em fazer projetos assim. É uma coisa que realmente o povo norueguês aprecia e tudo mais, porque é muito bonito, né? Tipo, imagina você tá passeando por um lugar e muitas vezes você gostaria de admirar, né? Uma paisagem e tudo mais, mas você não tem nenhum lugar seguro, mirante para ver. E vocês foram lá e criaram isso. Sem dúvidas, é uma sensação que eu adoraria experimentar, né? Tipo, vocês têm tantos mirantes, eu adoro. Aqui no Rio a gente tem alguns, mas eles são muito longes mesmo, muito inacessíveis. Então é meio ruim nesse aspecto, mas eu realmente fico impressionada como vocês são dedicados, como vocês são muito modernos e ao mesmo tempo vocês têm umas coisas tão tradicionais. Eu amo isso, é literalmente uma coisa muito charmosa que eu vejo em vocês. Mas bom, essa foi a minha reação, eu espero que você tenha gostado desse vídeo. Se você gostou, considere se inscrever, vou adorar ter você por aqui. E se você já foi inscrito, não esquece de ativar as notificações. Então é isso, obrigada por assistir esse vídeo, nos vemos na próxima reação. Tchau!